Welcome back to another video, and this one's going to be very laid back. This is going to be one of these type of videos that I never really upload, so this is more for the subscribers. These are the people, well, this is for you guys that watch pretty much every single one of my videos, and I just want to say thank you because the support has been incredible. Like I wake up every day and I'm just like, I can't believe the stats. I literally can't. Like, this has always been little background story about me. Is like I've never really done well on YouTube, you could say, and I've always done YouTube throughout my life, like even when I was like 12, no, even earlier, like 11 years old. So that's like 2011, and I used to do gaming videos, and yeah, it was just funny. Bit cringe, well, definitely cringy. Maybe one day I'll show you them gaming videos, because I guess it'll be a bit of a laugh. We could do that for maybe one of the milestones of if I ever get to like 10,000 subscribers, maybe, because 10,000's like, that's crazy, that number. Like, that'd be mad to hit. The most subscribers I ever got on my other previous channels, I think, was like 2,500 or something. But the views that I've been getting on these videos are just crazy. Like the engagement, the likes, the support that you guys show. It's just a mental. And the reason why I wanted to create this video is because I just wanted to let you guys know how much I appreciate every single one of you. And the reason why I created this YouTube channel is to just create something that was more transparent, and also just a way of showing that it is possible to do well regardless of like what job you've got. If you've got a low paying job or a high paying job, like there are ways of getting around trying to get out of that rat race, as you call it. I don't really like that term or word, but I know everyone's got different circumstances and different ways and how they've been brought up and the situations they've got themselves into, and I don't want to be naive to that. So if you have, and you're watching this and you're in the position that doesn't have a lot of outgoings, then keep it that way for as long as you can, because that's just a massive opportunity that some people don't have. And if you can keep them outgoings as low as possible, just like the book in Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's an obvious thing, but if you can just keep your outgoings as low as possible, and then also be able to use that money that, let's say you were going to pay on, let's say you were going to get a car for, I don't know how much, £200-300 a month, then don't get that car on finance for £200-300 a month. Just get a basic card that gets you to A to B, and then put that money in the stock market. Let's say you were going to rent out a place for, obviously everywhere in the different parts of the country costs different amounts, but let's say you're going to pay 1,500 a month on rent. Use that 1,500, or well, no, because obviously you still got to pay rent anywhere you go, but you put like £1,000 or £800 or £500 away a month in the stock market instead of paying them higher rents, all the rents that you need to pay. Or I know, obviously, I know some people's circumstances are different, but getting a shared accommodation, so you pay rent for a room, so not a house or a flat, a room, which will bring down the rents a lot cheaper, because I know you can get some for like £400 a month, which makes essentially, in a way, like you living at home with your parents in that sense. I know it's not the best, and paying for a room, but then just look at it long term, you can be like, you know, you're helping yourself in the future and getting yourself out of that position. Yeah, so rent a room for £400, obviously depends on your area. Like, that's like the cheapest probably in my area that you could get it for. Some might be able to get it cheaper, someone might have to pay £100 to £200 more, but that just brings down the expenses as much as possible. And then just like meal prep as well. Like, I know this is just a horrible way, I guess, to live life, is just to, obviously I'm just trying to think of things of like, to be able to, you could just try and just put that money away, because otherwise you hear it all the time. People are on good wages, like really good wages, but they're just outgoings are just so high. And I know that's just because they got a family to provide for, or obviously, like I say, there's different circumstances. So you can't just say, do this, because it's not as easy as that. But let's say you're watching this and you're my age or even younger, stay with your parents as long as you can, because being able to pay £400 rent a month, or even lower, for some people obviously don't have to pay rent. Take advantage of that and just put that money that you would have been paying for rent for places and put it in the stock market, and use a compound calculator. You could watch one of my videos that I did about the compound interest rate and how and where you will be at that age, and then eventually let that money work for you. Eventually you'll get to a point where you'll be making a yearly wage from your interest in your stock, in your stocks, and then that's where you can start escaping that life of just working every single day until you retire at 65 and sometimes even 70 years old, because we don't know what the pensions are going to be like, to be honest with you, when we get there. They're not sounding great from what people are saying and how they could easily just change. We don't know where the world's going to be. I also don't know how secure my job could be in the future, so that's why I'm very, I guess, paranoid because I'm a videographer. There's a lot more people doing it, and also, yeah, the competition's getting higher, obviously, and AI, editing, everything's just getting harder. And if you can just get your money in some investments, into some stocks, and some solid ones, you could escape it. And yeah, obviously there's so much more detail you could go into, and I don't know, this video is just a crazy random video that I just wanted to just press record on the camera and just see what happens. Don't even know if this is going to go on YouTube, so we'll see. Obviously if you're watching this, then obviously it's gone on YouTube, and I've decided to just put it out. Finance in general as well, even just, this is why I'm also thinking I don't know if I will post this, because I know you can easily just get a lot of hate because people comment saying, oh, you don't know about people's circumstances to say do this and that, and like, it's true, like, I'm not, yeah, fair enough, like, I don't, like, some people got it really tough where they do have to move out, and that's what I've got mates that have to be in that position. They've got to move out. They don't have a mum or dad to live with, like, they don't have their mum and dad, and it makes you appreciate the things that you do have. And like, he has to rent out, and this is where he's been very clever with things, is renting a room. So instead of renting a whole flat or a whole house that's going to cost you £1,500 a month, if not more, he's able to rent a room out, just a room, and pay £400 a month, and pay pretty much similar prices to what I'm paying with my parents, living at my parents' house. And that's just another, I guess you could say, a good way of trying to just limit your costs down, to then be able to put the money into the stock market to help your future. But yeah, I don't want to keep repeating myself with it, but yeah, I just think it's just really important to just invest as young as you can, and just research into stocks, because then you can go down the route of, do I put money in the S&P 500 and make my money work for me long term and get the 7 to 8% a year, and then be able to have enough money when I'm 50, 60 years old? Or do I want to get into growth stocks that are, let's say, like Tesla, Palantir, SoFi, all these different stocks that you find in the stock market, or undervalued stocks like PayPal that I've got, and you constantly do that every year and find the best ones you can. And you scatter your money in that sense, especially if you're younger or something, or want to build capital, you get into those because you can accelerate that further and quicker. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not saying this is a wrong or right thing, because this is the whole beauty of the stock market, and this is the beautiful thing about the stock market. And that's why I also am tracking my journey, because it's just a good way of just showing what you could do. And if I do mess up, or if I do well, I don't know, But obviously I'm going into individual stocks, and the reason why for that is because I want to build up my capital and accelerate that growth as much as I can and compound that as quick as I can, to the point where, like, hopefully one day my portfolio is paying me interest that is more than what I'm earning, and I'm not relying on the fact that, let's say I'm putting it in the S&P 500 a month and I'm getting 6-7% a month. Obviously it's going to be a lot slower of building up that capital, and I'm relying on my job to just still be there, still paying me the money, and also relying on the fact that I'll get pay rises or earn more money. And I don't want to be in that position. I want to be in a position that I've got into Palantir or Tesla and SoFi and all these stocks that in 2030, when I'm 30 years old, are at these prices of, let's say, Palantir could be $200-300 a share, or SoFi could reach that $160 price target that I think it can hit in 2030, or Tesla can hit its, everyone's got so many mad ranges of Tesla, but let's say $5,000 a share with Tesla. Like, if they hit them price targets, which isn't just plucked out of the air, like, that's from other people's research and also just going off numbers and the growing that these companies are doing over the years to get to them price targets. And if it does hit that, then I'll be in a position that I'll be very comfortable and not have to rely on my job at 30 years old, which would be beautiful, which would be unbelievable. But that's the position I want to get myself in, and I just hope that does happen, and I do hope it does, because then hopefully I can help other people and show them the journey I went on, and I can prove it by going, look at when I was 21, I really messed up. I made these mistakes in this sense because I didn't understand valuations. I was buying these companies at valuations that didn't make sense, and now I'm getting a gauge and I understand valuations. But I also want to show you can still make the mistakes. I want to show you if you can go on these journeys and get to this point. I could be making this video and looking like an absolute idiot and walking away with, I don't know, just messing up pretty much. But at least I've tracked it and showed the journey and stayed true to myself with it. But anyway, I won't ramble on. If you liked this video of me just chatting, and if anyone has watched this, because this is completely different to what I normally do, then hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, and I will be keeping up to date with the portfolio updates even when they get bad, because I think there is going to be a time where it's going to get bad. We're going to have a correction, so I'll make sure to do that like I did. I still posted when we were having the bad times, which you guys can have a look at. So yeah, but that's that. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.